know what? I'm on my laptop. Let's not be lazy. Let's get some synopsises up for us all. Oh, yes. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. I think. Sounds good, right? What? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. Today I'm super excited to film because in this video I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated book releases in the next few months. I'm an organised queen and I've got a list of books that are being released in April, May and June, and I'm just going to talk about why I'm excited for them all. Just a little disclaimer, I read and buy books based off of a few things and very rarely is it the synopsis. So there's like 30 plus books here. However, I don't think this video will be too long because I probably know the synopsis for about 2 of them. Usually I get excited for new releases for a number of reasons. One of them is if I've read the author previously and loved it. Another one is the cover. I am definitely a book cover judger. And then usually like the genre will persuade me. So like if it's marketed as this is a new YA diverse fantasy, it's going straight in my basket. If it's marketed as this is a new YA sapphic contemporary, it's going straight in my basket. I don't need to read the synopsis. And that is why we have a book buying problem, everybody. I'm just going to get into it because there's quite a lot to talk about. So the first one I'm going to talk about is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. So this is about 3 sisters who disappear, and when they come back they don't remember anything about where they were or what was going on, and the only clue they have is they all have a scar and they can sense that something's not quite right about them, but other than that, that's it. So it sounds really, really good. It says a thrilling, twisting novel that is as seductive and glamorous as the Hollow sisters themselves. So this sounds right up my alley. That's all I'm gonna say. Next one is Other Words for Home by Jasmine Walger. This is being released in paperback on the 6th of April, and I am really, really keen to read this because I've seen some incredible things on Bookstagram about this book. I don't know much about it other than that it's a book in verse and that it is a very touching and moving story, and I'm just really, really excited for it. I love reading books in verse, so this is one that I am super keen to get my hands on now that it's being released as a paperback. Book 3 on my April releases radar is Malice by Heather Walters. I've been lucky enough to receive an ARC of this, but I will insert the final cover here. This is a sapphic retelling of Sleeping Beauty where the villain falls in love with the princess, and if that doesn't sound incredible, I don't know what does. It comes out on the 13th of April, but it sounds phenomenal and I'm going to be reading this very, very, very soon. Next up, we've got The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. I really don't know much about this. I've been seeing this floating around because a lot of booktubers that I follow have received ARCs for this book. 17-year-old Kiva Meriden is a survivor. For 10 years, she has worked as the healer in a notorious death prison, Zalindov, making herself indispensable. Kept afloat by messages of hope from her family, Kiva has one goal and one goal only: stay alive. Then one day the infamous rebel queen arrives at the prison on death's door and Kiva receives a new message: don't let her die, we are coming. The queen is sentenced to the trial by ordeal, a series of elemental challenges against the torments of air, fire, water and earth, assigned to only the most dangerous of criminals. Aware the sickly queen has little chance of making it through the trials alive, Kiva volunteers to take her place. If she succeeds, both she and the queen will be granted their freedom. But no one has ever survived. It sounds so good. That's the first time I've actually read the synopsis and I'm really excited for it now. The next book is Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart, and this is one that I will not be sharing a synopsis for because I want to know as little as possible about this as possible. If you haven't seen this book circulating, where have you been? Probably under a rock. I cannot fucking wait. I've seen nothing but 5-star reviews for this book, and I'm not even exaggerating, like that is fact. Witches, fantasy, diversity, I'm so here for it. I'm so ready for that to be on my doorstep. I can't wait. Next one I want to talk about is These Feathered Flames by Alexandra Overy. It is an Own Voices queer retelling of The Firebird, which is a Russian folktale. Honestly, queer fantasy retelling is all anyone needs to tell me to sell the book to me. It says it's Three Dark Crowns meets Wicked Saints. Now, I haven't read either of those, but if you have, that might tell you a little bit more about it. The next one is She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan, a queer YA rom-com perfect for fans of Casey McQuiston. A laugh out loud romp through the ups and downs of teen romance. I'm really, really keen for this. I do love a good sapphic contemporary. I think the two main characters are a basketball player and her nemesis, which is the head cheerleader. So I think that's a really cool dynamic and I'm really excited for it. And then the final April release that my head just hurts thinking about it. It's The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. So long awaited, because I read The Flat Share last year, then immediately read The Switch, and then I was like, oh no. I know the basic premise of this is there's a big wedding up north and two sets of people are going to the wedding. One of the cars breaks down and the other car has to take all of the passengers, but in the group dynamics, we've got some exes, we've got some rivals, we've got some enemies. I don't know all of the ins and outs, but I do know that it sounds like such a fun concept. Beth O'Leary is one of my favourite authors. I have loved both The Flat Share and The Switch, so I'm really, really excited to read more of her work. If it's anything like her other books, I just know that it's going to be utterly amazing. So now we're moving on to May, and the first one I'm going to talk about is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I won't say much about it because Casey McQuiston became an auto-buy author for me the second I finished Red, White and Royal Blue. It was amazing. I'm even more excited for this one because it's sapphic, and everyone who has read it so far has been making me very jealous. That is all there is to say. Okay, the next May release I'm going to talk about is Son of the Storm by Suyi Davies Okungbowa. And I'm going to read you the full synopsis because I hadn't heard of this until the other day, but it sounds really, really good. The cover, let's just take a minute to appreciate it. I nearly went and showed you it, but you can see it right now. In the city of Bassa, Danso is a clever scholar on the cusp of achieving greatness, only he doesn't want it. Instead, he prefers to chase forbidden stories about what lies outside the city walls. The Bassai elite claim there is nothing of interest. The city's immigrants are sworn to secrecy. But when Danso stumbles across a warrior wielding magic that shouldn't exist, he's put on a collision course with Bassa's darkest secrets. Drawn into the city's hidden story, he sets out on a journey beyond its borders, but the chaos left in the wake of his discovery threatens to destroy the empire. Sounds amazing. The next one I'm going to talk about is In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland. Now, by this point, I hope we all know how much I loved Beyond the Black Door by this author. So this is just an auto-buy immediately. The cover is sensational and it sounds incredible. It says, a pansexual blood mage reluctantly teams up with an undead spirit to start a rebellion among the living and the dead in this dark fantasy. And it's a standalone. I do love a good fantasy standalone. Sometimes it's so refreshing to just have one book and be done with it. Yeah, Beyond the Black Door has lived rent-free in my head since I finished it. I still can't believe how amazing that book was. So I'm incredibly excited to read more of A.M. Strickland's writing. The next couple I really don't know much about other than the fact that they're sapphic. So I'll just read you like the punchy one line that all the promotional things tell you about the book. I hope you know what I mean. So the next one is Some Girls Do by Jennifer Duggan, who is the author of Hot Dog Girl. I haven't actually read that book, but I've seen amazing things about it. And it says, in this YA contemporary queer romance from the author of Hot Dog Girl, an openly gay track star falls for a closeted bisexual teen beauty queen with a penchant for fixing up cars. It just sounds really good. Honestly, at this point, anything that is marketed as sapphic goes straight in my basket. I just really, really love it. But this sounds like a really cool dynamic and I've heard great things about this author, so I'm really, really excited about it. And then the second one that I wanted to talk about was Not My Problem by Kiara Smith. So this is the same author that wrote the Falling in Love montage, which I read in February, and I absolutely adored everything about it. It was a really, really beautifully written sapphic romance. I don't know much about this. I mainly want to read it because of the author. It says this queer coming of age story from the author of the Falling in Love montage is right, multi-layered and unflinchingly honest. The next one is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Daisy Jones and the Six and Evelyn Hugo are both two of my favourite all-time books. I really need to read more of this author's backlist, but let's talk about this new release that I just cannot bloody wait for. I had major jealousy when everyone started receiving these arcs. I cannot wait. I've heard that there's like Evelyn Hugo Easter eggs in it, which that is so clever. That is so clever. I'm so excited for it. Then we've got Honey and Issue's Guide to Fake Dating by Adibaj Girder, the same author that wrote The Henna Wars, which I recently rated 5 stars. As soon as I heard that this author had a new release coming out in May, I just knew straight away that I wanted to read it. Again, I think it's sapphic with the fake dating trope, so I don't know what more I could possibly want, to be honest. And then the last one that's coming out in May that I'm really excited for is Off the Record by Cameron Garrett. This is the same author that wrote Full Disclosure, which I absolutely adored when I read it last year. A ripped from the headline story of a teen journalist who stumbles across the hashtag #MeToo story of the decade and has to weigh the risks against the need to fight for justice. I think it's going to be a really powerful YA novel, and I'm really, really excited to read more from this author because the first book was done so beautifully. There was HIV rep in that book and it was just done really, really, really well. I highly recommend reading Full Disclosure. So I'm super excited to read more from this author. Now we are moving on to June. First one I'm going to talk about is The Other Black Girl by Zakia Dalia Harris. This is a adult thriller that is set in the publishing industry, and the main character is a black girl who works in publishing, and she's the only black girl who works there until a new black girl joins the team, and it's about the rivalry between them, I believe. I've heard nothing but good things from people who've read it already. I am lucky enough I have got an arc that I'm super excited to get to very, very soon. And as someone who's not a massive thriller reader, I do think that I'm really going to enjoy it. Then I wanted to talk about For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. The first daughter is for the throne, the second daughter is for the wolf. As the only second daughter born in centuries, Red has one purpose: to be sacrificed to the wolf in the wood in the hope he'll return the world's captured gods. Red is almost relieved to go. Plagued by a dangerous power she can't control, at least she knows that in the Wilderwood she can't hurt those she loves again. But the legends lie. The wolf is a man, not a monster. Her magic is a calling, not a curse, and if she doesn't learn how to use it, the monsters the gods have become will swallow the Wilderwood and her world whole. I think it's a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. Then I'm really, really excited about The Crossing by Manjeet Man. I know nothing about this and I don't necessarily want to know anything about this. Manjeet Man wrote Run Rebel, which is a really powerful book told in verse, and I immediately knew that I'd be super excited for any of her future releases, which this is. And yeah, I'm just really excited for it, but I don't want to know about it other than the fact that it's by this author. Next one I'm so excited about is Fire with Fire by Destiny Sawyer. Two sisters, divided they burn. Two sisters raised to be fierce dragon slayers end up on opposing sides of an impending war when one forms an unlikely magical bond with a dragon in this exciting, fresh, contemporary young adult fantasy. Dragons, fantasy, yes, please. That's it. Yes, please. The next one I'm going to talk about is In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. This is one where the cover has sold me and the fact that it's queer has sold me. It says it's The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue meets Pirates of the Caribbean. Which sounds really good, right? A young prince must rely on a mysterious stranger to save him when he is kidnapped during his coming-of-age tour in this swoony adventure. The cover is beautiful, right? The next one is Ace of Spades, which is a YA thriller. I've seen a few people read arcs of this and been blown away. I'm so excited. It's set in a private academy where money paves the hallways and the students are never less than perfect. And, well, until now, because anonymous texter Aces is bringing two dark secrets to light. A compelling and unputdownable thriller with a shocking twist, this delves deep into the heart of institutionalised racism with this compulsive debut. It sounds incredible, and I've seen just amazing things about it. So I'm going to now talk about An Emotion of Great Delight by Taheri Mafi, who is the author of the Shatter Me series and also A Very Large Expanse of Sea. I did read the first Shatter Me book years ago and then never continued, but I don't know why, because I really enjoyed it. And then I read A Very Large Expanse of Sea and I loved that book. A stunning novel about love and loneliness, navigating dual identity as a Muslim teenager in America and reclaiming your right to joy. Yeah, I do think it's going to be super powerful about race and religion. And then another book, but this is by the same publisher actually, that I'm super excited about is Blackout. And this is written by 6 best-selling YA authors. So like, sign me the hell up. Donielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, Ashley Woodfolk and Nicola Yoon. What a team. It's a YA romance that celebrates Black love stories. When a heatwave plunges New York City into darkness, sparks fly for 13 teenagers caught up in the blackout. From the exes who have to bury their rivalry and walk from Manhattan to Brooklyn in time to kick off a block party, to the 2 boys trapped on the subway who come face to face with their feelings, and a pair of best friends stuck in the library and surrounded by love stories and one very big secret. They are all about to see that when the lights go out, people reveal hidden truths, love blossoms, friendship transforms, and all possibilities take flight. I just got goosebumps. It sounds so good. So it's like one scenario but lots of short stories, so I think it's going to be amazing. So the next one hasn't had a cover reveal, so this is exciting. And it is Never Kiss Your Roommate by Feline Harms, and it just sounds so good. Welcome to Seven Hills Academy, where gossip roams the halls. Seven Hills Academy, the world's most exclusive boarding school. Being committed to your studies, service and community doesn't mean that you can't break the rules now and again, right? But watch your back, because lurking on the anonymous Chitter Chatter blog is the watcher who can't wait to reveal all the latest hookups, hot lists and secrets around campus. The latest objects of the watcher's affection, straight off the train but not exactly straight, Insta besties Evelyn and Seth. It doesn't take long for Evelyn to realise she's inexplicably drawn to her gorgeous and standoffish roommate Noelle. Meanwhile, Seth has his eyes and some serious heart palpitations for budding thespian and school flirt Jasper. Just as things start to heat up, the watcher strikes. Will the secrets revealed turn the happily ever afters into happily never afters? It sounds really good, right? I just love that setting of like a boarding school and like hookups happening. It reminds me of like Tiny Pretty Things. I don't know if you've seen that, but... And then the final one that I want to talk about is This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. And this is going to be a sapphic retelling of The Secret Garden, and that is all I needed to know that I wanted to read it. I loved Cinderella is Dead. I thought it was an amazing like retelling style of Cinderella, and I'm just really excited to read more. I'm obsessed with this cover. I'm obsessed with the fact that it's going to be a Secret Garden retelling, and I'm just really excited. So that was a lot. And that was all of my anticipated releases in the months of April, May and June. I think there's definitely some that I've missed, but what can you do? I don't know how many books I've just spoken about, but it was a lot. If you're excited for some of these releases, let me know. Which ones are you most excited for? If there's some that I haven't mentioned but you're excited for, tell me what they are, because yeah, my TBR is going to be never ending anyway, so I may as well add some more books to it, right? If you did enjoy this video, please subscribe to my channel. It really would mean the world to me. I post regular bookish content, and give this video a thumbs up as well to let me know that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!